Hi guys, thank you for stopping by the channel again. My name is Brandon and you are watching M.O.N.Comics. First of all, I apologize for the horrible audio last video I made where I wanted to thank all my constituents and viewers. First time mic user, it helps when you turn them on. So I think I've got that figured out. So apologize for that about last week. This week's video, if you couldn't tell from the thumbnail, is about a disaster. So a couple weeks ago, I made a video about a blind purchase I made. A friend of mine had a box of 125 comics. I said, don't tell me what's in them. I want to run an experiment and show people how things could go either very wrong or very right, but it had a much higher percentage chance of going very wrong. So I did what I said I was going to do. I conducted the experiment. And what I did is I went through every step of a blind purchase with expectations of going to sell these comics in hopes of trying to make a profit. I broke down the hours I spent, the money I made, what it cost me to do this sale, how much I made per hour. And if you couldn't guess, it was obviously a huge failure. I knew that the probability that this experiment would fail was much higher than me succeeding. It's just not a good idea to buy blind boxes. This is the whole point of this two-video series, if you will, is that if you were buying blind boxes with the expectation that you could try to flip them to make money, you're sorely mistaken. Now, if you're going to buy a blind box because you're an avid reader and you don't care what you're reading and you just want to get them and read and collect them, that's fine. But if you think you're going to make money off them, I can tell you from firsthand experience, you're probably not going to. So let me break down some of the numbers here. Okay, first of all, thanks to any viewers of my channel that showed up to try to buy some books for me, wanted to add to their collection. I truly appreciate the support. I chose to do some Whatnot for a couple of reasons. One, it makes the shipping really easy on the back end. I probably could have done this on Instagram and made more money because I could have gotten PayPal friends and family because, you know, I've been a trusted seller on there, but it would have cost me more time on the back end to have to procure payments, get everyone's address. Whatnot does it all automatically for me. So, initial research took me 3 hours. That's just looking through the books, finding out what were keys, the autographs, you know, all that stuff. Pictures slash bagging and boarding was about an hour and a half. So I rebagged and boarded stuff that was just unacceptable, and then I took pictures of everything with the hopes of uploading them to Whatnot, which I did. Now, you don't have to do that. When you sell on Whatnot, you can just create a temporary listing and just sell the book. But by taking a picture and uploading them beforehand, which I spent most of that week doing, it does a couple things. It allows people to see what you have for sale. It allows people to place pre-bids, and it also keeps it organized after the sale. So everything in the post-sale tells you, you know, who bought what, where it's going to, instead of having to write down on Post-it notes and trying to keep track like that. So with that, I had another 4 hours into it. Sale itself, I actually did pretty good. I started at 9, I ended at 11, so 2 hours for the sale. Packaging and shipping was 2.5 hours to package 13 packages. It may not seem like a lot of packages, but again, when your reputation's on the line, you know, you want to make sure you're packing as you'd want to receive. I put all the comics in plastic bags, and they had a sealable pouch on them so that they were, you know, some type of waterproof inside a Gemini mailer or a bigger box if the person ordered more. So total hours I have in was 13 hours. Let's talk about the numbers. Very depressing, okay? I made $149 after what Whatnot takes, which is about 12-13%, because they take like a commission on sales, they take percentages, so I netted $149. After the sale, I sold some Wolverine and Logan to a friend of the channel. That netted me another $15. So total sale was $164. Now here's where it gets bad. If you like train wrecks or listening to them, here's where it goes right off the ravine. Back to the Futures 2 style. Back to the Future 3. I paid $100 for that collection. I then had to buy 50 Gemini mailers. Now, why didn't I buy less? Well, what if I sold 50 books and I didn't have the right amount to ship them? I wanted to make sure I was prepared. 50 Gemini mailers was $90. So already $100 for the collection, $90 for the Gemini mailer. That's $190. I am $26 in the red. Now, when you take what it cost me versus my time, I was making about $12 an hour. That's awful. that's not worth anyone's time. I don't care who you are or what you do. So to see that breakdown was as bad as I thought it would be if things went bad. And I knew they were going to go bad. You know, anyone in the comments who would say, you should never do that, you should never blind. I know. This is just an experiment to show people that maybe are just getting into comics or have thought about buying stuff. Don't do it blind. If you're going to try to sell comics, you have to have knowledge. You have to have research time. You have to have, you know, information at your fingertips and time to do the research to find out, you know, what the market's doing. It's a lot of work. Leave it up to the sellers, you know. If you got that kind of time, good on you. Some things to remember that I experienced throughout the sale that you could run into. Nothing is guaranteed. Okay, when I posted that first video, I had people in the comments, I'll buy this, I'll buy that. I could have reached out to them on Instagram or maybe email and sold it. But then again, you know, I would have had to go a different route than Whatnot. Maybe they weren't familiar with Whatnot. Maybe they don't like Whatnot. Maybe they didn't want to go on and purchase that way. Maybe they would have bought them, but nothing is guaranteed. People can tell you all day they want to buy your books, but until your money's in hands and they have the book, it doesn't come to fruition. Another thing, unforeseen technical problems. There's a couple times Whatnot was glitching out that night, and one big glitch out was one of the more probably higher end books, if you will, that was signed by David Nakayama, sold at the very end. Well, the person's payment screwed up. It didn't tell me who attempted to buy the book in the post-sale show. I was afraid someone bought the book, so I reached out to the person who bought a majority of the books from me. I said, hey, I think you bought this. I'm not sure. He's like, yeah, I wanted it. I don't know if my payment went through. And I aired to him, but the thing is, another person reached out later and said, hey, I wanted that book. My payment failed. Can I send you a tip for the money? And he sent money. However, I had already sent the book out, so I had to send him his money back. It was it created this horrible experience for both buyers because Whatnot glitched out and I didn't know who the book sold to and I wanted to make sure someone had it. You know, time is of the essence with Whatnot too, with shipping. It tracks your shipping time. I have 1 day shipping time average, so I wanted to stay within that, so I didn't have time to wait on everything. So unforeseen technical problems can really cause a bad experience for the buyer and the seller. Like I said at the beginning of the video, guys, blind buys are probably only good if you're just an avid reader and collector and you do not want anything to do with reselling them. There was times throughout the week that I was sitting at my dining room table, clicking pictures, uploading them to the Whatnot app, and I looked back and my family's snuggled on the couch, my kids and my wife reading a book or watching a movie. And I just thought to myself, man, I'm glad I have no intentions of doing this ever again in the future, or I do not do it regularly. I might do a Whatnot sale with my own personal stuff every 3 months or so, you know. But just to be doing this all the time with a family where my time is way more valuable than making money, it was just sad. I was like, this is sad. Like, I'm so glad I don't do this all the time, and I do not intend to ever buy a blind buy again. This was all for the sake of an experiment to show you people, to show maybe new watchers to my channel, people just coming in, that it's just not worth it, guys. Blind buying in hopes of selling and turning a profit, your odds are way against you. I'm just going to tell you that right now. So I hope you enjoyed this train wreck of an experience. Again, $164 total. I had to pay $100 for the collection, $90 for 50 Gemini mailers, which I can and will use, but more than likely just to send them books, trading with people, not really selling them. $26 in the red. I made about $12 an hour and lost time with my family for a whole week. I mean, that 13 hours, you got to remember, it wasn't continuous hours. It was, you know, maybe 2 to 3 hours a night because I get up really early for work. You know, I announced the sale on a Saturday that it was going to be the following Saturday. So I had a week to do the research, to get these books rebagged and boarded, to take pictures, to upload them. So like spread 13 hours out. My kids are in bed at 7:30. I go to bed at like 9. Plus I was making content on the side. That's another thing I didn't talk about. It cut into my YouTube time. Like I got videos out, but I stressed myself out. I tired myself out more than I needed to just because I was working on this project. So, moral of this video, don't do blind buys with expectations to profit them by selling. That's this week's video. I know it's short and sweet. I did drop a video earlier this week thanking everyone for the continued support. Guys, I'm 42 2 subscribers away from 2,000 overall subscribers. Like, I don't even know what to think about that. But what I do know is when I hit 2,000 subscribers, we will have one heck of a giveaway. I'm talking lots of comics to multiple winners. So if you like that kind of thing and you want to support the channel, one of the requirements will be you have to be subscribed to the channel to win whatever giveaways I do. So if you wouldn't mind hitting subscribe, leaving a like, leave a comment. Did you ever get a blind box and try to sell them to make money? How'd that go? Do you sell comics on the regular and can tell people in the comments that it's a lot of work? Feel free to leave that too. What do I got coming up on the channel? Next week, I got some great books in the mail sitting next to me that I really wanted to do a separate video with and talk about the books and give them their time and the people who were nice enough to send them to me. So I got that coming up. But Saturday, September 9th, is a huge night. The M.O.N.Comics Big 5 Live for September. I am hosting the crew from C3. If you don't know what that is, it's Comics Curing Cancer. It is an American Cancer Society official campaign that's run by Rob's Fat Stacks Comics, DJ Lynx, Mark from the Legion of Comics, and community artist Austin LeMay. These guys work tirelessly to raise money for this campaign by having a huge weekend, end of August, 24th, 25th, and 26th. They do comic book sales, original arts, collectibles, and 100% of the donations goes towards the American Cancer Society. This is their 4th year doing the event. They have raised well over $150,000. So I'm going to have them on the Big 5 Live next week to talk about their cause, but also we're going to have the donation link in the description of the video. The live stream's already up. You can go check it out, hit notify. So we're going to see how much money we can kick off and raise for these guys to start their 4th year in this campaign. It's a great cause. All these guys, I stand on the shoulders of giants. They are wonderful content creators that I look up to that do this out of the kindness of their heart. They are real-life superheroes fighting the villain that is cancer. So please, by all means, if you want to come to a Big 5 Live, if you're going to make one of those shows, it's next weekend. Please show up. It's 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. CBC Awards are still open for voting. You go to cbcawards.org and cast your votes for yours truly, for Best Comic Show, Big 5 Live, or Biggest Community Builder. I'm nominated in both those categories. I'd appreciate your support. We're going to try to bring home some hardware this year. So, guys, I hope you have a great, safe weekend. Don't buy blind boxes and try to sell them. And until next time, keep reading those comics.